Hey, everyone. Coach Tracey here. I guess I should introduce myself. I am Coach, well, I like to say I'm Filipina Tracey Badbata, but most won't buy that because I'm Caucasian. But anyhow, my husband's Filipino of 23 years, and we've actually just retired to the Philippines. So I would like to share that horrible experience. Well, yeah, technically horrible. So anyhow, it's been a cluster shitstorm since the time that we got here, and sometimes I don't even know if it's going to continue, but I'm still going to fight through this thing just because I don't give up. I don't let situations kick me in the arse, in a sense, or in the ass. So anyhow, we left November 22nd. We were all supposed to be here. My son, my daughter, she's 26. My son is, well, she's fixing to be 27. My son's going to be 26. And so all supposed to be here, right? So we had tickets through Eva Air and we left out of Houston. I'm originally from Texas. Yes, Southern girl going on over here. But I've been in San Antonio basically my whole life, and I've been trying to get out of San Antonio basically my whole life. Of course, it's just gotten worse. But anyhow, I'll tell you what I do and who I am at the end of this recording. But right now, I just want to tell you what a fiasco and how much fun that this has really been. Not. But anyhow, so we had a very dear friend through my husband's work give us a ride up to Houston. So we all had our tickets, paid $680 one way through Eva Air out of Houston to land in Taipei. We didn't have that much of a layover, so we thought, okay, that's cool. That's just going to go pretty quickly, right? And then, boom, it's like an hour to the Manila after that, and then we're just basically getting a van. And so where we're actually residing in the Philippines at this point is I'm in the Blue Lagoon, which has always been, I know it sounds funny, right? Like from the movie Blue Lagoon way back, but from Brooke Shields, I think it was, that played in that movie when she was a little girl. Okay, whatever. It's my favorite movie. And so I just knew that I always wanted to be on an island and near the water and stuff like that. Well, in the States, it's virtually impossible, only because of what has happened through my life, and I'm not going to get through all that. But anyhow, so it came to pick us up. I have a 100-pound German Shepherd. I've got a Basset Hound, and I have a Chihuahua. Well, Basset Hound Mickey is my son's dog, but I still pretty much raised her, and that's like of course, my grandbaby, right? So, anyhow, so we get the tickets. We had all the travel permits. We had everything. So the only thing we did not have, literally, was the phone call to Eva Air to let them know that we were traveling with 3 dogs. Now, on the website, they're not real clear on animals and traveling internationally with animals. Now, certain, and especially per weight, per category, you know, all of that good jazz. So anyhow, our ride came. We had all of our, it had like 7 Bullock Bion boxes. Okay, 4, I mean, oh my God, suitcases galore. I think all of them were overweight. And we had the 100-pound crate for my German Shepherd. We had the medium-sized crate for Mickey. And we actually thought that because Boomer was only under 10 pounds, my little Chihuahua, that he could ride with Mickey as long as there was enough room in the kennel. So we just kind of clusterfucked the whole thing, right? Okay, well, the website wasn't that clear to begin with, so in our favor. But we tried to call Eva Air. We tried. Well, that is one of the biggest complaints out of Houston, is that nobody picks the phone up. So backing up, 2017 is how I got to know the Blue Lagoon, Philippines, because my husband is from the city of Pauay, Pauay, Paoay, Ilocos Norte, Philippines. And that his mom and dad's home was there, which is now, of course, ours. And his brother, Mano, and his wife, Melba, and the boys, they reside there, take care of the property. And of course, the boys go to school. So we knew we didn't want to be in the city. But after that, we kind of traveled around. We were here for 3 months. And Eddie brought me up here to the Blue Lagoon, and that's where I fell in love with the Blue Lagoon. So ever since, I've been wanting to come back. So back to leaving in November. So we get to Houston, and mind you, nobody would pick up the phone, and we tried. Of course, we had all the paperwork, we had everything. We were already spot on. We were ready to go, ready to rock and roll, right? So here we are lugging all of our stuff. We get to Houston International Airport. San Antonio International Airport is not really an international airport. I have no idea why the city of San Antonio chooses to say it's an international airport when in fact it is not. So it just still baffles me on that one, but that's okay because the city does what they feel they need to do, right? It's our good old leaders. But anyhow, we get to Houston. It's probably about 10:30, 10:45. Our flight was leaving, respectfully about 11:30, 12 o'clock. So we had about an hour. So we get all the way up to the gate. We notice this lady immediately coming out. No, 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 no. We're like, no, what, So my son had already said he was not coming if he can't bring Mickey. And you have to understand, our animals to us are family members. They're just very special, especially my German Shepherd. I've always wanted one. Of course, I didn't plan on him being 100 pounds, but hey, I was prepared to pay the cost. We were prepared to do all of that stuff. So immediately we were told no. So here we are standing in line to check in at the gate, right? And we've got two big old crates, one triple extra large, the other one's a double extra large. They're on wheels, so they are the FAA, travel crates, that we paid a lot of money for them. A lot of money, especially the one for Mishka, which is my German Shepherd, my 100-pound German Shepherd. And so, anyhow, no. So we tried to explain, we had all the permits, we had everything, even from the Philippines, we had the approvals, we had everything. We were still told no, because, we learned this later, but apparently the pilot would have to adjust the cabin temperature. Now, see, this is funny because my husband's a welder for commercial aircraft, works at SD Engineering. And it's quite funny because all that is a matter of a switch, right? Like, So anyway, we already knew that, but that wasn't the point. So nobody would pick up the phone. So that's what we tried to explain to them in our defense. And so that was still a no bueno. So my son said, well, I guess he worked it out with him at the counter that he was going to get the $680 credit. They were going to give him a little bit of a credit. So when we fly later, or if he flew later, then he would be able to get that credit on top of the purchase of maybe another ticket or whatnot. So because either way, it wasn't that he was a no-show, because he showed. So, and I mean, it's like, what do these people expect us to do? They actually said, well, can't you just stay in Houston? Huh, okay. Like, is it really that easy for you? And meanwhile, our ride is already taking off, right? Coming back to San Antonio, because bless his heart, he took us all the way over there to Houston. And anybody and everybody knows that between San Antonio and Houston, it's about a 3-hour drive. So quickly on the phone, can you please turn around? So we had to take the dogs back down. Okay. And here comes the fun part, guys. So here we go. We go back up to the gate. Well, meanwhile, before we did that, they weren't even going to let us fly without the dogs, because they tried to tell my husband and all of us that we didn't have proof of a rapid test, a rapid COVID test, antigen test or whatever. And so the laws in the Philippines states that you can have that done upon arrival in Manila. That's the first thing, though. You have to get the test. Well, so I checked into the rapid tests in San Antonio for individuals who don't have any medical insurance. And I didn't have any medical insurance because I'm actually 100% healthy. I have the immune system of a 20-year-old, and I'm 52, going to be 53 in May. But and I'll explain that at the end. But so I opted not to have the medical insurance and not, pay on it, because it was just money that was coming out of my husband's paycheck. And so, and it's a lot for medical insurance. So, I said, no, just worry about you. That's it. And I'm perfectly healthy and all this other good stuff. Right. And so, I checked into the cost everywhere was $250 for just a rapid test. It was like, you're kidding me. I'm not paying that. So of course, being FAA certified, Eddie, he's 6G welder on commercial aircraft, which is the highest. He's already done his research, right, before we even hit the airport. So the Philippines had changed the laws where it was okay that, you can have that test when you arrive in Manila. So here we are at the counter, right? They already dissed the dogs, okay? And of course, a lot of that was our fault. I own that. It's not Eva Air's fault. I think a lot of it was their fault for not answering the phone. It gets better, Tracey. But, and in 2017, it was completely different, by the way. But, so here we are standing there being told that we can't fly without proof. And Eddie, I've never seen Eddie really, really mad. He got really, really mad. And he made them go in the computer system and look. Well, sure enough, I guess they don't update their systems very often, because we were right and they were wrong. And so I can just tell you, honestly, they got us through really quickly and checked us in with no issues. So we had about 20 minutes to get to the gate before our flight was about to leave. And this is where the fun part starts. So keep in mind that $250 for that antigen test, okay, that the United States and everybody was charging. Okay, like the normal person could pay for that, right, on a 13-hour and salary, right? And for all you Philippine people, San Miguel. But anyhow, they had it broken up where you had the seniors who had the wheelchair assistants, right, that were waiting. Obviously, they board first. That is a no-brainer with all airlines, and rightly so. Then they had the 4 lines broken up. So they had like line 1, line 2, line 3, and line 4. And that was per where you were sitting in the plane and where your plane seats were. Well, we always sit in the very, very back. And I got an aisle seat because I'm not getting stuck by a window and trying to have to bug somebody to move. It was just, that's a horrible situation. I want to have that free reign to just get up and go where I need to go, when I need to go. So, okay, we're waiting. And so this whole time I'm a people watcher. I just love to watch people. And I started noticing how Eva Air was so efficient back in 2017. Oh no, completely different. And and I'm gonna be very careful while I'm talking about this section, but I'm just gonna have to say it because it was basically horrific. I gotta check my battery. It was basically horrific what was happening. And I'm good. And so anyhow, I see individuals that were pushing the wheelchair, the individuals that were needing assistance in the wheelchairs. And they were all like new workers. I had never seen these individuals working there before. And well, at least back in 2017 when we flew, it was completely different. I mean, we were boarded and gone. We weren't even late. That plane was like on time, left on time, everything. We didn't even leave for an hour and a half to 2 hours. We were standing there. I was like, what in God's name is going on? Sure enough, here comes all of these things. All they wanted to do was talk. You got ladies walking around with wigs, eyelashes that are like protruding out 3 inches, nails that were way up to here that obviously they couldn't do anything. I mean, it's like the one thing I want to know is how the hell do you wipe your ass? I mean, literally, is it just all for show around your hubby's toy or what? I mean, it just literally, I'm like, what is wrong with these people? There was no work ethic, not one. And so the poor individuals that were sitting in the wheelchair, I felt really, really horrible for them, only because they were so busy talking that the supervisor had to come over and nudge and say, come on, let's start boarding. And what were they doing? They had food in their hands and wanted to go to the counter and talk, leaving some of these individuals just sitting in the wheelchair. Like, come on, lady, we're all standing here. Plane was supposed to leave an hour ago. What the hell are you doing carrying food to the counter? I mean, it was just a big ass clusterfuck is what it was. It really was. It was horrible, horrible to see it. And then I never will forget the one lady's face who the supervisor nudged, like, stop talking, let's go. And I mean, she just had the dirtiest look on her face and was just wheeling. This poor lady was not even walking fast or even trying to be respectful of the fact that everything was already late. It was like, I could just give a fuck less, It was that kind of an attitude. And then you heard some of the workers saying, oh, so need to find another job and da 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 da. It's like right in front of everybody. I mean, we were just standing there kind of like, wow, what's happened? So it took literally about an hour for these individuals to get these people wheelchair assisted into the plane, find whatever seat they were sitting in, and get their booty butts back out of that plane. And they still weren't hustling. They were just walking like it was just dun 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 dun, flicking their hair, flicking their eyelashes, holding their hands up so everybody could see their little nails. And it was just like, again, the only thing I was waiting for like 3 of them to look at me because I was going to look at them and go, ugh, you look like crap. You really do. It's just, it was really, really sad. So finally, we got to board the plane. I think we finally took off at like 2 a.m. Oh, then because of all the sanctions, we couldn't fly our straight route, which is normally a 10 to a 12-hour flight, right? Maybe if you're late, maybe 13 hours. No, we had to tack on another 4 hours. So what was a 12-hour flight, because we had to go around, I think it was Russia, right, babe? Because we had to go around, okay? And besides that, it was a major turbulence the whole time. I mean, the whole time we're bouncing like this. I mean, it was completely like, oh my God. And it just dawned on me halfway through the flight that had my dogs flown, probably wouldn't have made it, just because it was that horrific of a flight. Several times I thought the plane was just going to fall out of the sky because of the turbulence. But nonetheless, we got to Taipei. We had to wear our masks still. They're still in the masks phase, which is fine. I mean, it is for protection. And, I really don't have any say in whether any way about it. I mean, you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If it makes you feel better, fantastic. If, you don't, you don't. That's to each its own in my book, right? So, but when you've got a whole flight that is 2-hour delayed and you're worried about talking to the individuals at the counter and bringing them food, that I have a problem with. There was just no work ethic at all. And as far as I'm concerned, how in the hell do you get hired with 4-inch nails and eyelashes that are protruding out of your face as if you look like a comic book? You look like you belong in a comic book. So it just was really, really terrible. So we get to Taipei. We didn't have long at all. And that's where things just started functioning smoothly. Um, it was very efficient. I mean, actually, we were the ones that held up the plane because, well, of course, I don't know, I'm blonde, right? So I thought we had to wait in the waiting room. Didn't realize the plane was already boarded. So we felt like idiots going onto the plane, like it wasn't us. Okay, it really wasn't us, you know, but it doesn't matter. It was all fun. And we get to Manila. Well, this was my daughter's first time ever flying in an airplane, especially international. And it happened to be one of the bumpiest, turbulent plane rides I think I've ever had in my entire life. So I don't know. I guess there was some major headwinds. We were that you can't help, you know, that's like trying to push God back the other direction, right? That's just not going to work. So anyhow, we got to Manila just fine. Our driver was a day early. I guess he kind of got the dates mixed up or something. I'm not sure. But bless his heart, he still waited. Thank you, Roland. And so we got everything in. I'm still sick about the dogs because I've never been away from them. And so this was actually the very first time. So I was pretty upset about that. But we get in the van and now we have to drive 12 hours to Powai, all the way up north. So, and it wasn't even that brutal of a ride, actually. It was actually quite fun at that point because we got to start telling, you know, showing Jordan all of the, oh, look, yes, this is Manila, this is the, you know, and so it was really a lot of fun at that point. We actually had a little bit of some comical laughs there. But we ended up getting to Powai very late at night. It was about 11:30. And Eddie just wanted to come straight over to the lagoon, which would have been an additional 4-hour drive. So we wouldn't even have gotten here till like 4 in the morning. And everybody would already well, they would just be starting to wake up, right? That's when the roosters just start to crow. I said, no, I can't handle it. I need to stop and we need to rest. We need to just chill out for the night. So everybody kind of agreed on that. My battery's only at 44, so I'm good. And so anyhow, it was good. So we got tucked into our little place that we were staying that had the comfort room and the air con and everything, the accommodations. Mom's house is just not so accommodating. They don't really have a good comfort room and the accommodations. It's just an older home. So we opted to stay at the one of the travel inns there in Powai, which is not far from the house, our home, our area there. So in the morning, Roland came and got us. We got to sleep well. We got to eat our empanadas. Oh my God, the famous empanadas from Powai and Ilocos. I'm telling you, they are the bomb. And I'm going to learn how to make it. So we jump in the van, everybody's refreshed, and now we're ready to go on and come out to the lagoon. So we did. And our dear friends, Tonet and Nelson Lagudino, whom we met in 2017, or Eddie really became friends with Nelson. And I guess just that's his little buddy, you know. So I think it's cute because Eddie doesn't really have very many people he calls friends. So yeah, I guess that's a guy thing, right? So anyway, it's more us women that like that just like to talk everybody's ear off, right? So kind of like what I'm doing right now. But anyhow, so we get to the lagoon and now we're finally at Graciela's transient homestay. And this is our little apartment. And I'll just kind of move this around so y'all can see. It's our little comfort room. We've got 2 bedrooms. So I guess it's kind of like the size of probably about 550 to 600 square foot studio apartment, maybe. It's about that size. It's cute. It's comfortable. We have a beautiful comfort room. We have a nice shower, everything. And the apartment next door since I cook holistically and I'm a holistic uh, health coach, I needed a place to cook. So I kind of set up shop next door. That's pretty cool. And then I'll upload some of those videos. But since we've been here, we've just been trying to assimilate. And let me tell you something, I think we brought all the terrible weather. I had no idea that this is considered their winter time. So the whole time, not only did the to leave my dogs, we had to come over here, we had to get everything because we can only bring so much, right? Until we sell the house in San Antonio and we get all of our household goods and everything over here. So assimilating into a different country, especially Pacific Island, in the middle of the Pacific Island, it's not as easy as one thinks. And we were really not that prepared. So, which obviously is more our fault, you know, but it's still all good. And so we're getting through the holidays. We've got gale force winds every day, over 22, 23-mile-an-hour winds. We've got rain. And so this is considered their rainy season. This is considered their winter, their rainy season up here in the lagoon. So, and to be specifically where we are, we're in Pagudpud, Ilocos, Nortes, Blue Lagoon. So say Manila's right here, we're all the way up north. And so on a very, very clear night, we can actually see the lights from Taiwan. So it's actually pretty cool. But and no, I haven't seen the lights from Taiwan yet. So it's been cloudy, rainy, gale force, and it's still cloudy, rainy, and gale force. So we did bring smart enough to bring some winter, you know, some warm clothes. Thank goodness, because I'm 5'11" and I'm probably about 192 pounds right now. Very tall, and my daughter is taller, and my son is even taller. So we're very big, typical Americans, right? Like big boned, typical. So none of their clothes, even if it's a double X, does not fit us. So we were lucky we brought clothes. So here we are wrapping up, pulling out our jackets, you know, that type of thing. Socks, everything. So the only thing that we have had to do is boil water to be able to take a nice warm shower, but we're going to rectify that situation on this Friday. Actually, we're going back to Lawag, and we're going to go ahead and purchase one of those like Italian, those like water heater shower things where, you know, they're kind of like an Italian shower. You hook it up and it actually converts the water that kind of comes in and it heats it up. It's kind of got its own little pump. So they're not very expensive here. So we're actually going to go ahead and invest in one. And we just got this refrigerator. Let me show everybody. It's a nice medium-sized refrigerator. And I love it because we did have kind of like an apartment size refrigerator and it was frosting up. So I don't think it was really designed to be running every day and opening and closing, opening and closing. But he said the pump was going out, pardon me. So I don't know. But either way, we got a nice medium refrigerator. And so when we leave this place, that's going to go with us. So now we're looking at property. Because the one property that I looked at in 2017, she didn't tell us that it was only like, it was very narrow. We wouldn't even have had place to put a home. So, okay, now we're diligently looking at property. And the other issue I had to get over was the Wi-Fi, which I'm actually very fortunate that I still have Wi-Fi right now. So I'm trying to do it when I can, right? Because it's like, take advantage of it when you can. So that was a bugger. I mean, I was dead in the water for almost 3 weeks and I was literally cussing like, oh my God, I wanted to just throw the towel in and run back to the States just because of the convenience. But I kept telling myself, oh, screw that. So what? So you don't have your phone. I have a private group and I have Facebook, a lot of followers and stuff like that. And I'll tell you at the end of this, but so I was getting concerned about that, you know, oh my God, I'm going to lose all my people and that have been, you know, true. And following me for about a year now, and they watch all my cooking videos and everything. And oh, I'm just starting to panic. So I had to realize, stop. This is how you're going to know. So blessings to everybody that stayed. I just love it. Didn't really lose anybody, which the brain, I'm telling you, our brains can really mess with us on a lot of things, right? So we have no transportation right now. So we're having to rely on our friends, and their transportation is a trike, which I absolutely dearly love trike rides. I'm going to have to buy a trike because I love it so much, right? Just dearly love it. But when it rains, you're going to get wet. So it's just not feasible. And then between myself and my daughter and my husband, there's no way we're fitting on that bike and sitting in that trike. So again, we're kind of stumped, but it's okay. So because the weather's been terrible anyway, and it's been cold, and nobody wants to go anywhere anyway when it's like that, right? So the funny thing is that we're getting through the holidays. We get to spend Christmas here, which was really nice, and New Year's, which was really nice because they made their homemade fireworks, which was really cool. And the one thing I'm really, really enjoying is all the fresh vegetables and all the fresh food. And even the chickens are just so fresh, and just everything is just fresh. No hormones, steroids, preservatives, none of that crap or anything is in it. So it's actually very, very nice. It's wonderful. So we're getting through all of that, right? Well, apparently, oh, and I did get the Wi-Fi box. I got a pocket Wi-Fi, which I'm afraid to look at right now. Oh, it's still with me. I got my pocket Wi-Fi, and I also have a PLD Home 185 Wi-Fi, which is actually kind of been saving me because I'm bouncing between both of them. So I'm able to function a little bit more, and I'm able to function a little bit better, and I'm able to get things done. I haven't been able to really cook holistically like I want right now, just because I'm working out the days, because the United States is a day behind us and all this other good stuff. And the hours when I'm awake, everybody's asleep. And then when I'm ready to go to sleep and it's nighttime, I certainly don't want to be in the kitchen cooking, which is their morning. It's not even their afternoon. So I'm trying to get all that worked out. But on New Year's, apparently New Year's or the day after New Year's, I'm really not sure. I'm trying to think back on it. I ate something that just literally did not sit with my system. Talk about diarrhea. Oh my God. I thought I was drinking enough. I mean, I drink like this whole thing is like twice. I've already filled this up today. So you have to drink, because especially for light skinned individuals, I mean, it just comes right out of you. I mean, the moisture, your fluid levels, everything will just come right out of you. And so, especially when you're not acclimated here, you really have to watch out for that hydration. Well, apparently what was coming out my ass, I wasn't replacing enough in my mouth. So with the water, and I thought I was, because all I wanted to do was sleep. I got really lethargic. I couldn't understand what was going on. I would sleep all night and then turn around and sleep all day. And then my muscles just started hurting. And I've got a little bit of arthritis on the top of my right foot. And man, let me tell you, that thing swelled up. I couldn't even walk. It was like my right leg just decided it just didn't want to work. So then I guess I slept wrong, and then I twisted this way, because then this thing, I couldn't even lift my shoulder like this. I was just in excruciating pain. I was a flipping mess. I thought this was the end for me. I was like, oh my God, this is just not happening. So I was literally laid out for 2 weeks. I tried to do recordings on my phone before that had happened. Only my internal storage on my phone, I have a Samsung S8 Plus Samsung. Okay, and it's got like 64 gigabytes, but no. So that's given me hell. And so The only good thing is I'm able to talk to my son via Instagram, and I'm able to talk to my doggies. And yes, I do talk to them, and I swear I know it in my heart. They hear my voice and their tails wag and they go running up to Jim like, where's mommy? Where's mommy? Where's mommy? You know, it's just like so sweet. And it just brightens my soul and keeps me going, because this is what I have always wanted, was to be here, and I'm going to make this work. So I rested, and thank God there's no clinic here in the lagoon. Okay. The, the, the closest clinic is in central Pagudpud, which is about 30 minutes away from here. So when I was in bed and I realized that my muscles were just starting to cramp up and I couldn't figure out what was going on, I was fighting just to keep my hands from going like this, you know, and my feet from curling up. And I finally, literally, my husband was like, well, we'll take you to the doctor in the morning. I don't, man, I was cussing. I was like, I don't care what. Somebody better get me to the fucking emergency room now. Boy, did they hear me. Tonette, bless her heart. I didn't mean to scream, yell, but I was just at the point where it was like, you either take me because I ain't going to last till the morning. So bless their hearts. They found a driver. And I mean, I don't know who he was. I don't know his name. Just thank you so much, because he was here and I couldn't even walk downstairs. I had to have help. I was that weak. They got me. I mean, he was Mario Andretti. Okay. Now leaving the lagoon and going to Central, these roads are like this. You're coming down off of mountains. Okay. Because we're literally on the coast and we got mountains all around us. It's so beautiful here. But anyhow, it was Mario Andretti. I don't think I've ever made it to Central that quickly. So here I am bouncing around in the van. But I'm so not complaining about that. Trust me. They are the safest drivers over here. I swear to God, it's amazing. No hassles, no paperwork, no copay, no asking me if I had insurance, no asking me anything. They just got me straight in, asked questions later. Got that IV drip started, 6 hours, major antibiotic. I talked to the doctor, told him everything I thought I knew, what was going on. Gave me something for my muscle cramps. I don't know what it was, but the muscles quit, you know, retracting. And I was able just to lay there very peacefully and get my IV drip. And he said if I was throwing up at the end of the 6 hour drip, they were going to have to transport me to Bangi, which is the big hospital. And fortunately, I was not. So he wanted me back to do some blood work the next day. So I did. Here comes the port in my hand again. And I think I still got a little bit of a bruise here, but here it comes. She was so good, even putting the IV in. Come to find out, there is a lot of Americans working at this wellness center, and they're studying over here. They're doing like mission work, and they're over here for almost like a year. And it's like several of them said they don't even know if they're going to go back, and how much they loved it. They love it here. And oh my God, trust me, I know. So that brightened me up a little bit. But then when the doctor came in and told me that I needed another 6 hour IV drip because the sodium chloride levels were only at 2%, and I need to be anywhere between 3 and 5.5 is the normal sodium chloride levels. And also my potassium levels bottomed out. I'm not a fruit and vegetable eater. I mean, I'm a vegetable all the way, but I'm not a fruit eater. And I would not eat fruit in the States because it was full of, I guess it's what, pectin or not pectin. I don't know what the names right now, and it's really not that important, but it's full of sugar. And to me, sugar, I'm a health coach, so sugar to me is poison. And I already do 2 tablespoons of raw, unrefined, organic brown sugar in my coffees every morning. And so I thought that was good enough. Well, apparently not. So I had to learn the hard way. So So literally this is like number 3 that the Philippines have kicked my ass already, right? And then Jordan, of course, was sick when we first got here transitioning. Just, I think it was a climate change and stuff like that. But now she's fine. She's able to take actually cold showers, and I can't even take a cold shower. I freeze my arse off. So, I do the boiling water, and she's just like, "Oh, look, it's fine, mom." Like, smart ass whippersnapper. Yeah, wait till she gets my age, is what I say, right? But no, nonetheless, I was told to get lots of rest. On potassium, he put me on like a potassium supplement, changed my blood pressure medication because in the States, a lot of people have to be on hydrochlorothiazide, which is to get rid of extra water. Because in the States, a lot of people don't exercise because we're too busy working their asses off, right? Just trying to get money and put food on the table and pay the freaking bills because of the inflation that's going on. And that's a whole different other topic. But anyway, so here Blondie thinks, let me go get, and I was on 80 milligrams of micardis with 12.5 hydrochlorothiazide. So I thought when I got over here, since you don't need prescriptions, I'll just do the 40 milligram micardis / 12.5 hydrochlorothiazide. I didn't realize that that was actually counteractive to what I was. So I was just doing everything wrong that led up to the severe hydration where actually everything was almost ready to start shutting down. Thank God I got to the emergency room, right? So anyhow, I was doctor's orders to rest. So I did rest, and I did change my blood pressure medication. He put me on losartan with some potassium, 50 milligrams. And so far that is just working golden for me. No hydrochlorothiazides anymore. I had to cut down salty foods, which what I mean by salty foods, I wouldn't really eat a lot of fried foods or anything like that, but I like my soy sauce and it contains a lot of salt. So I had to kind of cut back on that a little bit, but I have my free reign to do any of my vinegars and garlic dips that I love. Anything like that, just not a lot of additional salt on foods, that kind of thing. And so that's what I've been doing, is just babying myself. And now I'm finally healthy. So it's worked out really, really, really well. And I am very determined to make this work here in the Philippines. And I really cannot wait to bring the Blue Lagoon to everybody, which I'm sure there's a lot of people on YouTube that's already been here. Possibly, I'm not sure, but I just know from my eyes and my experience. And so I've always wanted to be here ever since I was a teenager. I had a friend, Katie Hilla, and we lived at Brooks Air Force Base in San Antonio, on the south side of San Antonio. And this is back when Clark Air Force Base was still open and operational in the Manila area. See, now they've closed it, and now they've since reopened it, but now it's called New Clark City. And it is supposed to be one of the greenest little cities in the world at this point, which I can't wait to go and see it. And apparently there's a lot of industry that's going there. Lufthansa's, I think's there. Singapore's there. They're opening up repair stations. There's a lot of opportunities that are coming and that have been growing now in the Philippines, which has been actually a very wonderful thing. So there's a lot of places I do want to see, but it's 7,000 islands, but it'd take 2 lifetimes, if that, to even be able to see everything, and it's just impossible. But I'm gonna try, right? But so she left, and I had never even heard of the Philippines right at that point, because we were so young. I think it was 11 years old, 12 years old. Well, she came back for a visit one time, and that was after the first year. Of course, I don't whether she was seeing family or not, but us kids got together and went and saw her. And I asked her how she liked it, because she just didn't want to go. She said she would never leave. She said, Tracey, the stars are absolutely amazing. And I never will forget that. Well, my father was Air Force, so throughout all the years, even in Germany and everywhere where we went, Wiesbaden, everywhere, everybody that would, it was in my dad's office that would go TDY here to the Philippines, they would come back. I was always asked them, so how was it? Did you like it? Was it nice? None of them wanted to even leave. Well, if it wasn't for them being active duty, I wouldn't have come back. So it started with Katie, and then it was just kind of like a ripple effect all these years. So see, all these years I've been wanting to come, and now I'm 52 years old and I'm here. And I'm going to tell you, the Philippines has kicked my southern ass, but I am determined to kick it back. I'm going to stick through this and I'm going to make this dream work because dreams still matter to me. And it's impossible to have the dream that I wanted in the States. I wanted my own restaurant, but between the FDA, the taxes, the licensing, everything, that already put me out. Then the cost of just having the place, renting the place, leasing the place, whatever. Then it's the taxes every year. That just puts so many people out. I didn't have that kind of startup money. And I'm not one to borrow that kind of money from a bank and pay it back, or a credit union and pay it back. I don't like that. I really like this system here. It's so easy. It's fantastic. It's basically like cash. It's a cash system, basically. You know, they have debit cards, but they really don't have a credit system. It's just so different. It's just so easy. And the healthcare that I got for next to no hassles, none. I could have walked out of there and not paid, and then just came back and paid them what I want a month. But that's just not me, because a 12-hour IV drip, all the meds that I needed, plus I have a month's supply of losartan with the potassium until I can get to the pharmacia and go ahead and get my own, right, was under $200. I didn't even have to sign a piece of paper. I never even got asked if I had insurance. It just doesn't matter. They didn't care. They were doing it because they wanted to be there, and they love medicine and they love helping people. And that's the system that I like. I don't like doctors who are controlled by insurance companies. Oh, well, you have to prescribe this, you have to prescribe this. So that leads me to who I am and where I am. So right now we're buying property because I am going to have my restaurant and I'm going to cook for the Philippine people here. And I want a home and I want a boat and I want to bring some fun. And I'd like to maybe have a bed and breakfast, maybe a mountain resort with about 10 or 13 rooms. Yeah, and it's possible. So Eddie will be leaving and he's going to go back and sell the house, and he's going to work out whatever happened with the dogs. We're going to make sure we're going to ship them back over here. Mishka can only, because he's so big, 100 pounds, he can only fly on a 777 or a 757. And then we found out that Eva Air only allows 5 dogs per flight. So if there's anybody else that's flying with their animals, we have to work around that. So because we've got 3. And it's really for the safety of the animals. So I'm not going to say I think that's good because they really care, you know, that is what it tells me. So I like that. We're going to sell our house in the city of Live Oak. We're going to say bye-bye, and I'll never go back to the States. This system here is where I belong. This is what feels good and what feels normal for me. It's more humanity over here, not let me make excuses and blame somebody else for my shit, which I even got from several people before I left. And I'm just not even going to go into that. So as I mentioned before, I'm Coach Tracey Badbada. I claim Coach Filipina Tracey because I'm actually Filipina. It's just an illusion, this light skin. But anyhow, um, I heal non-alcoholic and alcoholic fatty liver disease, type 2 diabetes, and I can reverse cholesterol. I can reverse type 2 diabetes and cholesterol numbers within a month and a half to 2 months. But like with anything, the final story and the final say is up to the person that is choosing to do what I suggest. If you follow things to a T, you get healthy. If you don't, you stay in whatever position that you're in. I have cured my husband from alcoholic stage 3 with scarring in 10 months. And I'm not going to go into how I do it, but I can tell you that I am the only one out there at this point that I know of. I'm at 27%. I am the only one that I know of that is doing it holistically. Everybody else wants to do these SNAP brand packets. They want to say, go buy this pill or go do this. That is what's getting half of the people in trouble. And I don't mind saying it all over YouTube. Anything that is man-made and processed, our livers and our organs cannot handle. If you want to know how to do it holistically, truly holistically, then you're going to pick up a piece of food that has been either you've grown it or it's you know who's growing it, farmers market vegetables, and you need to incorporate some very, very high nutrient vegetables, which nothing in the States can compare to some of the Asian store vegetables that I guess the United States should be lucky that the FDA even allows it. Because a lot of the foods here in the Philippines, the FDA will not even allow. Why? I have no idea. It's because it wasn't produced in a plant, and then it causes all these ailments in the long run, which keep people in a vicious cycle and circle when it comes to meds and medications. My goal in life was to be completely out and off medications. And I'm almost to that point, which I couldn't be more blessed. So food matters, and what you put into your body matters. And I know, and I've come across individuals who refuse to do anything different, and therefore their situations and their ailments and whatever they've got going on doesn't change. My goal has always been to live true to myself. And at the end of my reign and my story here on this Mother Earth, my God, I want to go without any regrets. I don't want to be at the end of my term and saying, I wished I would have done this. I wished I would have done that. No, I had the strength to change. I had the strength to look at the adversity that was going on in my life, acknowledge who was doing it, because I was doing it to myself by my choices, by my thinking, by my mindset, everything. And when I stopped making those excuses and blaming everybody and everything around me is when my life started improving. I am a former IV drug user, and I IV drug used cocaine for 8 months. And I did it back in 1998. And I used for 8 months. I checked myself into La Hacienda Treatment Center, and I've never looked back. I took the reins from there, and I changed my story. And now my dreams have come true at the age of 52. Well, not all of them, but I'm here. And I'm a holistic health coach, and I do a lot of live cooking. I do a lot of holistic cooking. I throw ingredients together that literally balance our gut health. I focus on our natural microbiome, which is our natural bacteria inside of our stomachs and inside the lining. And I improve, and my cooking actually works with that. So I focus on macro and micronutrients that actually work with that to actually strengthen immunity and your immune system, not strip it and make us all sick. I think the worst thing they ever came out with in the States was that antibacterial shit. And then every parent wanted to turn around and wonder why their kid was so sick, because you stripped all the natural bacteria off of your body. I mean, I wouldn't even doubt if in the beginning of time, we were even born and created from bacteria. And so we have to live with a level of bacteria. Otherwise, we are setting ourselves up for, say, the next COVID hit or a next pandemic hits, God forbid. But let's just say it does, because history always repeats itself, and it's basically inevitable, right? It's almost like World War III, probably, right? It's all inevitable, right? I mean, everything just kind of like always repeats itself, unless we stop that repeat, which I don't know many people who can do that. My life has been a living hell for the last month and a half, but it's okay, because I choose to let this adversity strengthen me inside to say, what can I do to better my mindset to deal with this? I'm not gonna, I wanted to throw the towel in so many times and run back to the States, to my house in the States, and just go back to my no Wi-Fi issues, go back to my TV. And no, I did not watch Netflix. I was always watching news, which would always make me mad anyway, to begin with, because I've learned that the news is different. What we get over here is different from what's over there. And it's crazy. It's just crazy to see all these differences, but they're good differences. And I'm not going to change it for the world. I'm just not. And I will never go back running with my tail tucked between my legs. I'm a fighter, and I will continue to fight. Always. Always. And I'm sorry for individuals who choose to make excuses and blame everybody and everything around them. Did you know statistically in the South, for individuals making under $300,000 a year, did you know that the rich don't even play the lottery hardly? Wonder why. It isn't about the $14 an hour. It's not about the $13 an hour. It's about what you choose to spend your money on and how you're balancing your money. We never made over $20 an hour, and I never worked. And we had a home. We had all of our bills paid because we sacrificed. Sure, there was things I wanted. Sure, I wanted to go do certain things and travel here and travel there, but it wasn't feasible, and it didn't fit into my long-term goals and my dreams. And so I held on to that, and I held on to that firm, and I would sit in my house miserable, which I can't believe I was miserable in the States, but I was. But, and I admit it, my mindset was not good there. It's not about that. It's about, add up how much you spend in lottery. I can guarantee any one person will spend 12% of their income annually just on lotto tickets. I could think of 12% of my money being spent somewhere better than a freaking gambling. It's all addictions, and that's what they want. They're preying on the weak so they can control and get what they want. Well, I refuse to fit into that. And I will never fit into that. My life is mine. I live it my way. I don't live it by somebody else's terms. Oh, you have to live your life that way. Really? Tell me why. That's the first thing I always say. I don't think so. And the other thing I wanted to make before I let y'all go, because now I'm just rambling, is about the car insurance. There's no car insurance over here. I love it. It's an option, but it's not something you are forced to do. Do you know they have less accidents over here? I'm talking, these drivers are crazy. They don't even pay attention to stop signs or nothing. They'll just go. They don't even have half the problems that we had. You see, it's just, the system is just made too easy to be able to take advantage of people who don't really need that taken advantage of. I mean, you know, I'm sorry, if it wasn't for the middle class, I don't think half of this stuff would even exist. It's really sad. And unfortunately, we really do rank like 36th or 38th in the United States in education. So what does that say? How many kids graduate who can't even read and write? How are you graduating high school? You got teachers that sleep with children because they're crazy. It's very, very sad. It's very sad to see it. And I'm sorry. And I'm sorry for that. And if I've offended anybody, that was not what my plan was, but I always speak the truth. I actually got asked to lie about something and put it on my Facebook page. And I had to come back and say, I don't even lie to myself. I'm certainly not going to lie for anybody else. So don't ask me. I said, I will kindly decline and pass. Blessings to you. And that's it. Because the more people lie and make excuses and blame everybody else for the situation that they know themselves created, something's got to give and something will give. Karma. You can never escape karma. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you've got $5 billion in the account. I can guarantee you, you will pay karma. You give to life what you get back out of life. So on that note, I'm going to let you guys go. Yes, I heal fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic, alcoholic, and I will be posting a lot of live cooking coming up down the road here. I already have some that I can share that's in my private group, but you can find me on Facebook. It is under Filipina, Filipina, Tracey Badbada. And I do have a private group, Holistic Health with Tracey Badbada. And I also have a holistic healthy liver with Tracey. I believe that was the name of it, but that is where I have my free 7-day meal plan. And it was just kind of something I threw together, but it is still heart healthy and friendly, and it is still liver friendly. I'm a very kind of health conscious person here. So, and on that note, I'm gonna let everybody go. So if you watched, thanks for watching, and just know that I'm in the best place in the world, and I'm on the best place in the planet. Stay strong, stay blessed.